Welcome to a special video. Oh yes, it's the 2022 Yamaha MT-07. I've had this bike for a couple of days now and she is an absolute peach. This is what motorbiking's all about. This thing is so much fun. Oh Nelly, it's just so nimble on the road. Really delivers confidence in your riding, and it being that nice 700cc parallel twin, the famous CP2 engine from Yamaha. Such a nice package for the road. It's definitely not too fast, but in this bike, it's a fun engine. It's great fun. What a machine. It's a little Hornet, a traditional motorcycle that you just want to have fun on, and you can learn and improve your riding skills with this. Such a confidence inspiring bike and fun to ride. Oh yes, 2022 Yamaha MT-07. Oh, and it's just started raining. Fantastic. Let's crack on. Terrible weather in the UK at the moment. Oh, proper rain. So guys, updates for 2021. Got slightly bigger disc brakes up the front. Doesn't make too much of a difference. Changed design on the nose here, which I quite liked the one before, but then this is sort of growing on me. It's just personal preference really. The LED light up front's really good, I can say that. Slightly wider handlebars for leverage in the corners. You got some sort of added like knee sort of pads, they're plastic though, on the fuel tank there as well, and a different TFT screen, slightly larger, nicer TFT dash. Right guys, so before it starts completely pissing it down, let's just go over a few of the specs and then we'll jump on and go for a ride. So yeah, retailing at £7,200, which is a very reasonable price for this machine. It's got the famous CP2 engine basically. I think it's like exactly a 689cc engine. Got 72 brake horsepower, 67 newton meters of torque. So yeah, it's the CP2 parallel twin Yamaha, basically 700cc engine. It's an absolute peach in all of its forms. The Tracer 700, the Tenere 700, but in this, I've never ridden one of these, bear in mind, not even the original model. It just comes alive. The bike is so light. This is what, like, you know, I love all forms of motorcycling, but this is proper motorcycling. Weighing in at 184 kilograms, very light motorcycle. Well, it's not that, but that compared to most of the bikes I ride, that is a light bike. The seat is 805 millimeters. The seat actually is a lot taller than I was expecting, which I'm gonna say is quite a nice thing. It gives you a bit more of a commanding riding position over the road. You can see over traffic quite nicely. Oh, hello sheep. Oh, they love it. They love it. They love the MT-07. So it's always nice to have some wildlife watching at videos. Hello guys. Sorry, that was a bit random. I just heard them in my ears. Like, what the hell? It's quite a nice riding position. It's a small bike, but with that higher seat height, you don't feel like in traffic, etc. and on the road, you don't feel like it's too small. You don't feel vulnerable on it. I get that often on small bikes, but I don't really have it on this. That's a nice bonus. Come on. Oh, I don't want to touch it. Try not to let the sheep put me off anymore. Two 310mm discs up front with 4-piston calipers. And onto the rear brakes. You have a single 250mm disc with a 2-piston Nissin caliper on the rear. Up the front you have 43mm inverted forks with 170mm travel and 50mm travel correction on the front there. Onto the rear suspension you have horizontal backlink gas charged swing arm suspension, and it has 152mm travel, so 2 more mil than on the front. Rightio, I think that's enough specs. Let's jump on and go for a ride, because that really is what this thing's all about. First off, let's fire her up. It's quite a simple dash. It's a nice dash, much nicer than the previous model in 2021 updated. Very nice, simple, lovely dash. Switch gear is standard Yamaha. It's all standard Yamaha. It's very simple on the MT-07, which in my personal opinion is a good thing. You don't have any rider modes. It's one mode. You're in that mode. Love it or hate it, that's all you got. I gotta say I love it, it's great. Obviously it's standard indicator, horn. So let's start her up. First thing I noticed, it's pretty underwhelming when you first start her up, but that's all down to, because it's obviously Euro 5 compliant, it's all down to all of that, you know, constriction that's in the exhaust. But actually when you get moving, it sounds quite nice. I would put an aftermarket exhaust, but this engine, the CP2, it's always sounded quite nice. It's really characterful, and even sort of on the overrun on this, you do get the odd pop from the exhaust, which is a lovely feature. Full disclosure, I did used to own a Tracer 700 when they first came out, but I don't remember it being this quick. It's so refreshing. So I ride a Triumph Speedmaster, as many of you will know. Riding a proper light, middleweight naked motorbike that is just purely designed for fun on the road. Whoa, pigeon gathering. It really is so much fun, this thing. Very, very nimble. The suspension's quite soft actually, but that's a feature that I like. It's non-adjustable up front, but it doesn't need it. It's got a nice soft plushness to it. And the handling, because it's so light. In all honesty, I am not a super good rider, motorbike rider. I just like cruising, going a little bit quick sometimes. But this is a really, really good bike. I've been finding an awesome motorbike for learning on. Even me, I've been riding for 7 years. I'm absolutely having a great time on this. I really am, and I'm really finding it. I can push the boundaries a bit on it, not in a dangerous way, but in a way that I can sort of start learning in a comfortable zone on this bike, if you see what I mean with that. It's just really easy to ride, so I think as a beginner bike, possibly a beginner bike, it's still fast, this. It's a fast motorcycle. It's a lot quicker than I remembered. I've ridden, you know, all of the fast bikes, not the super quick super bikes, because they scare me. 1200s, 1300s, fast bikes with over 150 brake horsepower. Mate, this bike, it's not as quick as those, obviously, but it's got some go. Like, such a cliche, you don't need any more than it. It's anything more and it would be really good, but it would take that easiness, that learning vibe away from it, and the fun vibe. You can have fun on this without really, like when you're coming out of a corner, you can really get on the throttle. You can be quite ham-fisted, and you will move, you'll go fast, but it's not going to throw you off or spin you into a ditch, and that adds to the fun. You see what I mean? I may be blabbing on a bit. Like, I can handle a fast bike. It makes me a little bit nervous. I have much more fun on this machine. So we're behind this car here, bit annoying. It's a nice stretch of road, but another feature, the engine braking on this engine's really nice. It's not too harsh, but when you're going along, I'm in third now, easily go over 60 miles an hour in third gear, easily. Got some good pull, but when you come off the throttle, it's got a nice amount of engine braking, reassuring that. Yeah, really nice to help control the bike. Such a great motor, very torquey, but you can also wring it out. I'm feeling quite sad that I got rid of my Tracer 700. I just didn't appreciate how good a bike that was back then. I feel like you learn to appreciate bikes the more experience you have, and this is a real quality package. God, I hate this junction. Look at this. So you got cars coming the opposite way, turning left, whilst you're turning on as well, onto a dual carriageway. Sketchy, that. So no quick shifter, unfortunately, because it would be awesome with that, but it's you know, it's a really nice light clutch lever, and if you're buying this as a beginner's machine. Sorry, I always feel like I'm talking too quickly in these reviews. I think I need to sort of calm down, just slow down a bit. Please do say if I speak too quickly. As a beginner's machine, I think you want a nice clutch and manual. To jump straight into a quick shifter would be, you know, you're losing a lot of learning experience from using a clutch. Another thing are the wing mirrors. On a lot of Yamahas, actually, they're the same on the MT-07, really large wing mirrors. They don't look bad, I personally don't think either, but they're just great visibility. What's it like on these dual carriageways? Well, it's a naked bike, you may be able to hear the wind, but is it quick enough with that 700cc engine? We're in 6th gear now, going 70 miles an hour, just under 5,000 RPM, but I can tell you, which I definitely have not done, but I reckon if you were to want to go over 90 miles an hour on this bike on the motorway, it would honestly easily do it without any fuss at all. That's saying something, you know. I haven't done that, but if you wanted to, it would do it. That's saying something, you know. If motorbike's going easily over 90 miles an hour comfortably on the motorway, I mean, do you need much more? Just to bear that in mind, you know. Like, I appreciate if you want a more powerful motorbike, but just for your reference, it's got the power there. Another awesome bonus, as I'm used to riding bigger motorbikes. Oh, I'm not going to do it. It's gone green. Bad timing, Redang. Like, leaning here. Oh, it's so nice. It's really reminding me, awakening a being in me to really learn the proper handling and lean and slightly sort of sportier riding of motorcycling. I've never been into it before, but this is making me feel comfortable. It's got the entry into sport riding. Here we go. It's the reason actually I think this would be such a good bike for in town. If I lived in a busy city now and I was using my bike every day, I would 100% really would consider this bike. Just going through traffic like that and filtering, it's so small and nimble. It really is easy. You find myself like finding gaps in the traffic that I wouldn't even think of on my Speedmaster. And it's light as well, like manoeuvring around, manhandling around is really easy. So you've got a 14 litre fuel tank. It's actually, for a bike of this size, that seems quite fair enough. Fair enough to me, really. Like, my bike's a 12 litre fuel tank, and that is a little bit on the small side, but a small, lightweight sports bike, decent tank size. The brakes are great. Front brakes are really good, as you can imagine. Double up front, 4-piston calipers. The main thing feel about this is just, I suppose, its lightness and its nimbleness. And that engine, as I've been saying, just feels so much faster than I remember on this machine. I suppose it's because of the lightness of the bike, the weight of it. Really recommend this. As in conclusion on the MT-07 here, I think it's a fantastic motorcycle, but for a purpose for it, I think for entry into sports bike riding, it's a great bike for that. And I actually also think it's really good for, you know, I've been riding for 7 years. I'm a sort of half experienced rider, you know, I'm not a newbie. I'm not a massively sporty rider, but this thing, Blade Motorcycles here, this thing is great for just learning and honing your skills on. It's not too intimidating, but as a rider with some experience, there's plenty of power there to have fun with. Oh, there's my bike, must be ready. Come to pick Speedy up, she's had some work done. That's going to be a different video. Tune in and check that out in a few days or a week or so, I presume. Anyway, yeah, round off. Really cool bike. I've had it on loan from Blade here, so many thanks Blade Motorcycles for lending me this stunning bike and opening my eyes to potentially, not yet because I haven't got the money, but in the future, possibly getting a little naked sports bike to hone the skills and really like improve my riding. And for £7,200, is it one of the best bikes in the world you can get for that amount of money? It's got to be pretty close. Like, the build quality it's Yamaha. There are plastics around, but it does feel very reliable. The motor's just completely bomb-proof, not literally. But yeah, it's a great motor, great bike. Many thanks for watching, guys, and I shall see you in the next one. Have a lovely week or weekend wherever you are. Till next time, ciao bella.